Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be reviewing Cobra Kai Season 2. So Joey, I know you had a chance to check out Cobra Kai. Let's jump right in. What did you think about Season 2 of Cobra Kai?
I've got to be honest. I'm loving everything about this show so far. Season two, going into it, I was wondering if there would be any kind of a letdown. Season one was so strong, was so great. I was thinking, okay, maybe this is just lightning in a bottle for season one. Season two comes along, and it's like, you know what? We took everything that we did in season one and expanded on it, carried it over, and then fleshed it out for season two. So my review in a nutshell is love season two. It's fantastic. How about you? What were your thoughts?
It fleshes out these characters even more, right? I think especially the relationship between Johnny and Daniel, right? And you get to see Johnny really question all of his beliefs even further than he did in season one, right? Season one, he was kind of, starting to come around to the idea like, oh, this isn't right, but the old ways of doing things, the old Cobra Kai. And season two, you see him get tested, right? And with,
Yeah.
with the introduction of Kreese. And you see Johnny have to really make some difficult decisions as to whether he should really let go of the old Cobra Kai or if he should embrace it, right?
Yep.
And Daniel is there and he's awesome, right? I think the tension between Daniel and Johnny um, is even more intense than it was in season one.
And I love that back and forth. I mean, there are times where you think they're going to be best friends and you're kind of
Yeah,
rooting for it because you're like, man, this feud has been going on for 30 years. Let's bury the hatchet. And then something happens
something,
within the
and
story and you're just like, man, they were so close.
that's what I love about season two is that every time you think something's like, they bond a little bit, they talk
Yeah.
a little bit,
Like they're
something,
finally going to partner.
they're
This has brought
finally
them
get the
together.
partner. No, something happens and it goes the opposite
Yeah.
direction. And just that constant tension is one of the things that I think really makes the season strong. I think the relationships between Sam, Miguel, Miguel's new girlfriend
Yeah.
Tori,
Tori.
and Robbie. I think
Who I texted you whenever, as soon as I saw, because Ryan had a chance to catch the whole season. I've always been a little bit behind, but I caught up and I
get
texted
somebody to take my
Ryan.
recommendations.
Oh no, there that's a whole other video, Ryan's recommendations right there. But as soon as I saw Tori and she was willing to fight Miguel in Cobra Kai, I texted him and was like, oh, there's a new girl. This is not going to end well. And
Yes,
it was really interesting what they did with Tori this
yeah,
season.
and just that whole dynamic, right? It's just the square of jealousy, just the love square of jealousy and envy, and oh man, that was
And
just
misunderstandings too. That's
yes,
the beauty, and I think that's what season one started this, and then season two carried it over, where you introduced one perspective,
yeah,
then you build really strong character and you start introducing, well, this is how I perceive something, and then this character perceives it one way, this character perceives it another, and it does it in a way where you start to think, oh yeah, Robbie's in the wrong, but then you think, no, Miguel's in the wrong, no, Tori's in the wrong, no, Sam's in the wrong. Like it really asks these questions of you to really think about. There's one truth, but everybody sees it a different way, and that's that's
yeah.
that's a sign of really good storytelling when
And
you
I
introduce
think
conflict because it feels genuine.
I think that's what the Karate Kid and Cobra Kai. I feel like that is such a just a huge part of the show in general, right? Like
Yeah,
even in season one, this was a huge part of it. He doesn't believe that he was a bully.
yeah,
He truly doesn't believe he did anything wrong. He
they are
believes
both the hero of their own
he,
story. I'm the hero of my story, you're the hero of your story. So it's exactly the same for every character in this show. So I think that honestly, that's what's connecting people to this show, and it's a hit for that reason.
Yeah, I agree. As far as character arcs, who in this season do you think had the most intriguing arc?
I and it's probably cliche, but a lot of people probably feel that way. It is Johnny 100% because we fleshed it out really well in the first season. So you think, okay, well, he's done, but I love getting to peel back the layers. There are two scenes that I really loved. I love seeing I think it was this season, the flashback to him actually being semi not necessarily
That
abused
was the season.
by his
Yep.
stepfather,
Yep.
but he was a nerd. So you
Yeah.
start to understand that kind of that role that Hawk is serving, his arc was the same, right? He started off this nerd, and Kreese probably found him, manipulated him, and said, "You could be a badass. Join."
Yeah.
So that that once he's starting to come to these realizations with the fallout that Miguel did the dirty tactics whenever he in the final season one fight.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to lead his folks down that path. So
Yeah.
I think that scene and that arc was really good. And I also loved the miniature reunion episode where
Yeah.
he reunites with his old Cobra Kai buddies, getting to see the effect that Crease and that strike first and strike hard mentality has on kids. And once they become fully functioning adults, they say, this is not the right way. Now, you can either say this is not the right way, or you can say, yeah, I'm going to become a douchebag even when I'm an adult and just carry these tactics. But everybody's kind of moved on past that. I think one of them is a pastor now. They're all, decently successful. They don't approve of what they went through as a child. So it really forces Johnny's story to sit there and say, wow, this is not just Johnny. This is a story for an entire generation of people who are bullied, then manipulated into being the bully, and it comes full circle. So I'm
One
I'm
of the
fully
things
enjoying Johnny's arc.
one of the things about that episode, maybe it's even one of the most important episodes, is you see all of his friends. They are in disbelief that Johnny would allow Kreese to come back
Yeah.
into his life,
I think most of
right?
the audience feels the same way too.
Right. And that was very telling. But even Johnny allowing him to come back shows you Johnny's arc,
Yeah.
right? Johnny wants to help him get better, which I think shows you a little bit about who he is now, right? He is about helping people, helping
Yeah.
these kids. He's passionate
He
about
got a
that.
second chance. He wants to give Crease a
Right.
second chance.
But you also see Johnny wants that father figure that he never had,
Yeah.
right? He wants that. But the other thing is that episode that took Johnny away from the dojo is also the episode that really allowed Kreese to build more of a personal connection with a lot of Johnny's students, which
Yeah.
comes to fruition at the end of the season. One of the other episodes that I think really speaks to me, not really episode, but scene, is when Johnny and Miguel kind of have that heartfelt talk at the diner,
Yeah. That
right?
was
Where
fantastic.
that was fantastic. That's probably my favorite scene in the whole show that I think really peeled back who Johnny is. You know, Johnny knows, right? And this is really one of the first times that we've heard him acknowledge, just a lot of his shortcomings, right? As a
Yeah.
person, as a father, right? When they're at the diner and he's just telling Miguel about how, Robbie was born at that hospital and he wasn't there. He was scared,
Yeah.
right? And he just really wants to assure that, let Miguel know, I will always be here for you, right?
Yeah.
I will be here to protect you. I will not let you down, right? Like I let down Robbie.
Yeah, I rewatched that scene the other day actually, and it hit even harder the second time. I think the quote that he said was literally, "I have failed him since the day he was born." Like he literally wasn't even there for his first
Yeah.
day on Earth,
Yeah.
and that's super super impactful.
Yeah. And just all of these, just the relationship with Crease, the the love square, I guess, with Sam and Robbie and Tori and Miguel. Um, seeing the nerds come and join, Johnny's gym, but then, some of them leave and join Miyagi Do,
Yeah.
right? All of these things, all of these elements to this season really builds up to the climax of what this season is. You know, the way it ended,
Yeah.
see Miguel redeem himself, right, from the first season, right?
Yep.
He
He redeemed
he
himself. He redeemed Johnny
right,
in
right.
that
You
one
know,
act of showing mercy.
yeah, he has Robbie essentially pinned down. He can,
Yep.
take him out,
Ready for that last strike.
and he hears Johnny, right? And he's like, you know what? No, this isn't what we do, right? That's not what Cobra Kai is about anymore. And he decides to back off, right? And then we see Robbie, who was learning under Daniel, right, the entire time, and do right and don't strike first, right?
Only for
Defend
defense.
only.
Yeah.
Well, he strikes, and Miguel falls over the stairs,
I did not see
and
it coming.
and I knew something was going to happen. I didn't know that is what it was going to be. So, I don't know if they go into exact detail. I think they show images, but essentially he has some kind of spinal injury,
Yep.
right? And they don't say it, but you would assume, or at least I assumed, right, when I saw him in the hospital and everything, that okay, so he must be like paralyzed.
Yeah. I mean, it
Essentially,
looked
from
life threatening,
it looked
paralysis
right.
potentially.
Right. And so that was intense.
Yeah.
I believe Sam also goes to the hospital from some of the injuries that she
Yep.
suffered. It was chaos. And Johnny is just devastated. And that's probably the emotional climax of the show
Yep.
to this point. So when that all that's happening, Joey, what are you thinking?
I didn't expect it, so it was a big time surprise for me. But I also like the fact that it kind of signaled to us as viewers to say there are real stakes to this show, right? Karate Kid, bringing this in again, we talked about it. It could come off camp, it could come off disingenuous, but that was the moment where it was like, no, there are real world repercussions for a bunch of kids fighting. And I think Tori even
Right.
used a weapon. I mean, they're starting to get into some territory where it's no longer just fun. The more skilled we are, the older we get, this stuff can actually become pretty dangerous. So I think that final poignant scene of seeing, when Johnny's looking at Miguel in the hospital and finally realizing that, yeah, this was kind of my fault. Maybe I taught him mercy a little bit too late. This shouldn't have even escalated to this way. I
Right.
thought it was the perfect setup to kind of set up everything at stake for season 3, right? So
Right.
so let me ask you, what did you think about the way the season ended after Miguel's incident, kind of that final closing of Kreese has now taken all of Johnny's students and they said, you know what? We're done with you. The act of showing mercy has Miguel potentially, dead in a hospital. What did you think about that?
I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I thought that when Johnny essentially kicked Kreese out, I thought that was going to be the end of Kreese until maybe next season.
Yeah.
I really didn't think we were
I
going
thought
to
it
get.
was going to be the end of Crease for the entire series, to be
That's
honest.
that's what I thought. I thought that was the end of Kreese. I thought the whole purpose of him was Johnny coming to the realization and manning up and saying no. I want to run Cobra Kai this way. You don't represent that anymore, or you never represented that. And obviously, you haven't changed, which
Yep.
you said you did. You need to leave. And I thought that was just going to serve as a moment for Johnny to continue in the right direction, right? And so when I saw him back, I mean, I love things that catch me off guard, and it definitely caught me off guard. So I think it makes sense. I think, we saw Eli trending in the wrong direction all season long. And so for Eli to kind of be the catalyst underneath Kreese and to kind of be Kreese's ace guy, I think that makes sense. I think they've been building Eli up to that point. What I think is most interesting to me is what happens next. I think that last shot of them walking into the elevator and them leaving the hospital at the same time, I think that's telling. I
Yep.
think, I mean, it's so I think they're going to form some kind of, I don't know if it's a team or they're going to come to some kind of understanding. But I see Kreese isn't slowing down. Kreese wants to take over, and Johnny and Daniel, they need to redeem themselves because they caused all of this. So that's our review of season 2 of Cobra Kai. What did you all think about season 2? Please leave a comment, and please make sure to like and subscribe so we can keep bringing you all more content. And until next time.